What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to ICNV Drive Edition. Today, we're in for a treat. We're out at the Chicago Auto Show, the 2023 Chicago Auto Show. And as they say, this is the nation's largest auto show. So let's take a quick look at what I feel were the highlights of the 2023 Chicago Auto Show. The auto show had two sides showcasing different types of vehicles. So I started out with what I wanted to see first, which was the new Corvette E-ray. But making my way to the E-ray, I ran into the C8 Z06. And as you can look, as it sits here in Accelerate Yellow, this thing is still a beautiful beast. Of course, it's a coupe, hardtop with a removable roof. I think that's one of the unique features about having a coupe from the Corvette family is the roof is always removable. You can store it in the rear storage area. But as you take a look around this beautiful car, notice it has the Z07 package, the carbon fiber wheels, the carbon fiber aero. Just looking at it makes me want to upgrade my car to a Z06 because I know not only does this bring the ultimate performance, but it also brings the ultimate, as I would say, beast to look out of the Corvette, at least for now. But check out this C8 Z06 and let me know what you think. Is it a vehicle that you are considering? Do you think it's one of the most anticipated vehicles of the year? It has a naturally aspirated V8 that sounds, as they say, as a Ferrari on steroids, or the way the Ferrari should sound. Either way, I think it's a nice car. I love it. I love all the interesting quirks and features about it. And I think when you look at it from this angle right here, it definitely makes you say, this is something special. Now, I'm not going to really run down the quick features of the car because we've seen so many videos including that already. But what I will tell you is that seeing the yellow seat belt on the black accent in person made me feel like the seat belt should always accent the car. The yellow stenching and these competition seats, I really wanted to sit in some so I can get a true judgment of them because I'm starting to hear the competition seats aren't that bad, but they are stiff. So that gives me mixed emotions and mixed feelings. Now, if we take a quick look now, we are looking at all the different colors that are offered on this car. And one thing I will sit there and say is there are plenty of colors to go around and many ways you can customize your C8 Z06. We also see the different center cap options you can get, which I had no idea there were so many. Now, this bag you see, that's usually what you put in the front, or should I say the front of the Corvette. It's part of the luggage package you can actually get for your C8. But let's take a quick look at this engine. That's one thing about this car I will say. The engine just looks amazing to me, even without the carbon fiber engine appearance package. But I would love to have the carbon fiber engine appearance package. But so far, it just hasn't been available. Now, if I was to order a C8 Z06, I really like the GT2 seats. But the more I look and see these competition seats in person, they are intriguing me for an upgrade. So that's why I feel like I need to find somebody with a car or find a dealership that has one with competition seats and actually sit in them so I can decide if that's something I would like to add to my future purchase. Now, as we get ready to move on from this Corvette Z06, one thing I want you to recognize is I really like this aero package, and now that there's another company out there making a version of it for the C8 and the sales on that has been going through the roof, I think this was the true wing that the Corvette always needed. Now let's move over to a breakdown of the actual engine. Now I did show this before in one of my pictures or one of my videos back at Corvette's at Carlisle, and one of the engineers was really breaking down the information on it. So this isn't my first time seeing it in person, but I'm gonna give you guys a quick glance for those that haven't seen it. But what I can sit there and say to you is the way that they built this engine is a true marvel. And just looking at it, as you can see, everybody's kind of just intrigued about what this engine can do and how it was built. I take my hats off to GM for making this flat plane crank so powerful that it pushes out 670 horsepower and sounds amazing. But let's move on to what I really came here to see. What I really came here to see was the new Corvette Z08 E-ray. Now first off, just to get this out the way, the color you are looking at right now, this is the new cacti green. The more I look at it, it's not a bad color. To me, I would call it something like a mint green. Now, what I did realize as being around here and listening to people conversate and talk, this color actually comes across very well with a lot of females. Most of the females like the color, and even my wife, who often says she wants me to get her a C8 Corvette, says she wants this one, and that's the color she desires. And as I kind of laughed it off, I was hearing more and more females standing around talking about this color as if they were to get a car, this would be the color they would want to get the car in. So I'm not really sure how it comes across overall, but I do know at the auto show alone, it picked up a lot of traction and a lot of comments from a lot of the ladies in the audience. So take a look at this cacti green Corvette E-ray and tell me what you think. Now, personally, based off what this car is capable of, with the performance pushing out 650 horsepower, sharing the same V8 that's in my car already, which I am very familiar with and have a lot of confidence in, adding the electric motor to the front to improve upon the performance, I'm very intrigued into this car. Now, I know you can't get the Z07 Aero package, but again, so many aftermarket companies offer it, at least the rear wing, and I'm sure we're going to see more front splitter Aero coming. So I think in the long run, this won't be a bad approach to go or a bad way to go with the vehicle. And I'm very intrigued to see how aggressive and mean we can make it look with all the aftermarket items that are going to be out there for the car. So I don't know. I may target this E-ray, man. Look at it. It has its own unique appeal, but at the same point in time, it has the wide body of the C8 Z06, which was the biggest thing attracting me to the C8 Z06. I love the sound of flat plane crank, but I'm not a huge fan of the flat plane crank. I actually like the boiler exhaust add-on to my current C8, and because this one shares the same engine mounting points and so forth, you can put the boiler exhaust right on this one, which I feel gives that V8 the real natural growl or rumble it needs to have. So for me, this may truthfully be the better way to go, or let's say the better option for what I'm trying to accomplish and the sound I would like to keep. So let's take a look at this E-ray and tell me what your thoughts are on it. Leave me some comments below. Do you think the E-ray is the future of the Corvette? Well, we can't say the future because we know all electric is coming. But are you intrigued by this E-ray? And is it something that's on your radar or something you would like to own? Let me know in the comments below. Now, as we move on from the E-ray, I was trying to find some other things that might catch your eye, and what really caught my eye was this SS Camaro over here. Now, don't don't get me wrong, it is a Camaro, but I really like the front splitter on it. I like the aggressive look. I really fell in love with this orange. I know back in the day, I think they had this on the Z06 Corvette, and it was called Atomic Orange. I like this orange, and it would be truly a color I would possibly think about getting my Corvette in. I really like the first orange option they had, which I believe was Sebring Orange, if I'm not mistaken. I really liked that color, and that was really the color I wanted to pursue for my Corvette. But when I saw the Zeus Bronze and not being able to actually order it firsthand, I chose to go with the Zeus Bronze. Now as we move on, we come over to the Acura NSX. And the Acura NSX, for you that don't know, has actually been one of the cars that's been on my radar for quite some time. If they wouldn't have brought the Corvette Z8 out, this was probably the car I was actually going to own. Right when I was working out a deal to actually acquire an Acura NSX, GM released information about the new Z8 coming out being a mid-engine vehicle, and that instantly shifted my focus. I often regret not purchasing the car because I could at least trade it in later on the Z8, but once I heard about the rear cargo space in the trunk, and then the front have its own storage space for the Z8, the Acura NSX just never measured up despite it having more horsepower. Now this Acura NSX is the Type S, and it has an MSRP approaching $200,000. For the extra horsepower, I'm not quite sure it's worth it, but when you look at the fact that it comes with bigger brakes, carbon ceramic brakes, all the carbon fiber are surrounded on the car, and the things of that nature, including the engine appearance package that's now full carbon fiber, I would say your money's not going on pure power add-on or the power boost you're getting. It's going on everything else. And for those of you that know, carbon fiber is not cheap. So as we sit here and look at model 169 out of 360, you know this is a special car. And for that reason alone, I would get an Acura NSX just because it's probably going to be worth some money in the coming future. Now let's move over to the old classic car section. Now one thing I always like about going to an auto show, or let me say any show, is when you see customized vehicles. And this car right here reminds me of the Jetsons. Let me know if it has any resemblance to you or what you think this car actually is. Don't cheat, because I know the information is out there. Okay, I'll give it to you. What do you think this car is? It is a Lincoln. Now, let's make it even more fun. Tell me what year Lincoln it is, since I gave it away. But when you look at this car, look at the custom interior, look at the custom paint job. This thing is amazing. It often reminds me of the old Batmobile from the original Batman, but that wasn't a Lincoln. So it has some similar features. But as we walk around this car, I can't help but admire how beautiful it is, how creative it is, and how the owner actually thought outside the box and brought their own vision to life. A true statement of ICNV if you ask me, but I'm not going to go down that path. So as we look at the steering wheel and the interior, all of this is customized. I love the paint scheme that was put on it, and the windows itself actually roll up and seal the bubble. So this car is fully functional, it's often driven, but the funny thing about it is it's not driven on the street, but it was driven to this location. So this car is 100% functional. That's amazing. But like I said before, it's a beautiful Lincoln. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. Let's swing around to the front and take a look at this engine. Everything on this car has been modified, from the wheels, from the front bumper to the rear bumper, to underneath the hood when we're looking at this engine. And yes, this is a V8, so it's going to burn a lot of gas and have a nice sound. As you start to realize, there's a lot of custom old schools at this auto show, and I think that's a good thing. It's a way of bringing back the old days where a twist is something new. I think the perspectives give people an opportunity to see what can be done
move over to the Hummer EV. I can't lie to you, I've always liked the Hummer dating back to the H2, and I often think about actually going out and getting the H2 and just possibly rebuilding it or doing something funky with it. So that's something that is kind of on my radar. So as I look at this new Hummer EV, which is all electric, stepping away from the 6.2 liter V8, I think this thing is actually amazing. I'm trying to get you guys some good shots of it so you can see that although you still have the similar boxy and bulky frame or design to the Hummer, it actually meets all the modern day transitions made. This car right here comes with removable roof panels, something similar to a Jeep. Dare I not say it, for GM does not like to refer to it that way, but it has removable roof panels. The interior is nice. You got the split fold seats, similar to what the Avalanche has, and all, should I say, the new Silverado EV as well. But it's definitely a true, I want to say, sport utility truck that can handle more than what you think. And what's amazing about it is, since there is no gas engine in the front is actually a frunk. So we see a SUV, or should I say a SUT, that has now adapted the frunk system of a mid-engine car. Now I hope, like me, many of you are Hummer EV fans, or should I just say a fan of the brand Hummer itself. And unfortunately for 2023, the Hummer is no longer its own brand. It is branded up under GMC. But as you look at this vehicle, you will see there are no readily visible badges that even make you understand or believe it's a GMC. Now with this SUT, I'm not a huge fan, but I do like the versatility of it. But if I was to get one, I think, well, my heart desires more towards the SUV. But seeing the SUV with the top removed, I think the SUT is probably the smarter choice. I don't know, but I would like to own one of these vehicles in the future. So it's something I'm going to try to work towards. But everybody, this is the Hummer EV. Let me know what you think of it in the comments. Let me know if it's a vehicle that you would actually like to drive or own coming forward in the future. Now if you step over to my favorite section, which is the supercar exotic section, right here is the McLaren Artura. And the Artura is a hybrid just like the Corvette E-ray. And although it has every ounce of supercar presence across it, probably the cheapest hybrid car, or should I say hybrid supercar you can buy at this time, before you get to the Chevy Corvette E-ray. But let's move along. So as you see right here, we have a McLaren GT. And this is the most controversial car for me because it was actually a McLaren I was targeting. And I feel like it's probably the closest McLaren I can purchase, next to probably a 570S. But the McLaren GT has one factor I'm just not 100% sold on, and that's the fact we can't see the rear engine. I'm not a greatly huge fan, but if I was to get one, I think I would try to do this with the hard top convertible. Here we are. We're looking at the Lamborghini Countach, and this vehicle has a lot of heritage. It was a throwback to the design of the original Countach, and it's supposed to be their last big bang as the car is heading out to give them more of a rebranded familiar look. Now I'm not going to lie to you, this car has a lot of presence and historical history behind it, but I still would prefer to have the SVJ if you ask me. It's just the styling to me is still slightly outdated, but it does have a refreshed look on it as you look at it now, with all the cues of the new modern cars of today, meaning the lights, that it is an impressive vehicle to look at. But as you see this SVJ, I would still lean more towards that way. And there it is, the Lamborghini Urus. I don't know how many of you actually like the Urus. And as nice as it is, I just really never had a desire to own it. But let's move on to the Rolls Royce collection, or should I say the Rolls Royce section. So we see a very nice white Rolls Royce Phantom. This is superior Nardo Gray Ghost, but they don't call it Nardo Gray. It's another color name sorry it slips my mind. And then we see the Wraith. Now, to be honest with you, I'm more interested in the Ghost and the Wraith. Although you see the Dawn in the background, I prefer convertibles, but there's something about the Rolls Royce that makes me say I want to have a top. So to me, the Wraith or the Ghost would be the premium way for me to go. I really like the Wraith more for the coupe aspect, but I think I will probably be more comfortable owning the Ghost. I don't know, I just feel like if I get a Rolls Royce, I should take people along for a ride. But we will see. But looking at the Dawn and the big price jump from that to the Wraith, I just couldn't see myself buying a Dawn. I would probably just go ahead and buy the Bentley Continental GT convertible that's right behind it. You can see some really nice Bentleys right here, especially this Bentayga, which has been on my radar for quite some time. So I often find myself looking at used Bentaygas because, believe it or not, despite COVID, these vehicles are still depreciated rather hard, which I don't know if that's saying something or what's going on, but we can talk about that in another video. Here's Maserati's new supercar, or should I say replacement to the Gran Turismo. Now, with the butterfly doors and this beautiful pearl SO white matte paint, I must say this car is amazing to look at and it's something that will turn heads. But unfortunately, I'm not a huge fan of the interior, and it's powered by a V6 motor that's supercharged, so it does put out the performance, but it's just something about the Maserati that doesn't pull me in like I feel it should. Let me know what you think in the comments. Would you get an MC20? But before we get out the exotic section, I can't lie to you. It's always been an Aston Martin that's caught my eye, and this Aston Martin DB11 has done just that. I really like this car in a convertible form. It's something I would like to own as more of a daily driver, which I know you don't really daily drive an Aston, but since Mercedes has kind of did their partnership with them, it's pretty much a Mercedes AMG GT in the interior and pretty much the engine. So I feel like for the first time in its life, the Aston Martin is probably a little bit more durable than it has been in the past. And as we look at this Aston Martin SUV, I've really been paying attention to this car. You don't see them every day. It has unique styling, but it has a lot of performance. And I think before I ever looked at a Maserati truck or even a true consideration of a Bentley truck, I think I would gravitate to this Aston Martin truck. Now as we come over to the Nissan 370Z, we have actually stripped the size of the auto show and moved over to more what some people would like to say the working man side. And this Nissan 370Z, I was told is priced right around $55,000, and it can get up to $65,000. But I just think that is a problem for the market. I may do a video on this later on, but I really like the new look of the 370Z. But I feel like it's in a dangerous space, and I only say that because I don't want to constantly talk about the Corvette C8. But if you're looking at a Nissan 370Z that's getting around $66,000, would you not prefer to have a Corvette C8? To me, the mid-engine look and the performance you get with it may be worth them few extra dollars jump for what you can get with a Nissan 370Z. Now, as I moved on the Dodge, like I told you before, I'm going to show you some of these concepts. Here is the new concept of the Dodge Charger. Now, I really like the styling of this thing. It's a big two-door, which we haven't seen in quite some time. So honestly, I don't think this will make the final cut. And would it be more of a replacement to the Challenger, although it's called a Charger right now? But what I really do like about it is the glass roof that flows all the way across the top. So you legitimately can see, or you can get sunlight from the outside into the car. So the panoramic roof has now made its way over to Dodge. despite the fact that the roof is see-through, I really feel like the interiors, I try to give you a better look at the interior. The interior cues are really nice, but I don't think they will ever make it to final production if this vehicle makes it to final production. But I do like the way the hood scoops are and air flows through, and it's perfectly aerodynamic. And I like the long light bar across the back. That gives me remnants of the Durango, which has finally adopted that version for that styling. And they brought it right over to the new prototype of the Dodge Charger. And I think if it ever makes production, this car right here, even if it's full electric, will definitely draw some attention. So thumbs up to Dodge. Now, before I let you guys go, they say the Chicago Auto Show is the biggest auto show in the nation, and in years past it's been even bigger than this. So as I walked you guys around, I want you to understand that there was a lot of representation that wasn't here. Like we were missing Mercedes, we were missing Porsche, we were missing Audi, we were missing Lincoln, we were missing Volvo, we were missing Genesis, just to name a few, but the list truly does go on. Talking to a few dealerships, and what was told to me is, despite COVID being technically over, a lot of these high-end dealers are having a problem getting inventory, and they are running on a brand new supply. I hear people talking all the time, saying the pandemic is over and the market being full of cars. But when I went to the Porsche dealership, Porsche told me that, if they order the car, it may be a 6-month turnaround. And they really didn't have any new cars, maybe 1 or 2 on the floor. I feel like the ball was dropped or opportunities missed, but when I talk to the dealers, I understand they're struggling to get inventory. And that's the same way when it also comes to domestic vehicles like Cadillac. Cadillac was not here, and I really want to see the new Escalade in person so I can get to experience the dashboard firsthand. And of course, they were not here. So the auto show has started to grow, especially compared to last year. But in comparison, and what else missing vehicles, all I can say is hopefully in the future we start to see these manufacturers tend to show back up in the future. But before we get out of here, we started off with the Ford Bronco, and I'm going to end this and finish with the Ford Bronco. And this is the one vehicle with the roof soft and the top all the way back, with the doors on. The Ford Bronco, this version of the Bronco, actually caught my attention and has me looking at the vehicle differently. I would like to give Ford the props for reviving a vehicle with so much heritage and history, combining that with the off-road capabilities and performance, not to mention under a name that has great presence across the industry market. This Bronco is probably one of the vehicles I can say that has lived up to the hype up under the rebirth world. Right? So, thumbs up to Ford for making that happen. But thank you for tuning in for my highlights of the Chicago Auto Show. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Were there any vehicles that you were looking for that I missed? Is there anything you'd like to say about some of these vehicles I had showcased? And please leave your thoughts. I would love to hear from you. But as always, ICNV Drivers, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, join the ICNV Drivers community. And until the next upload, stay safe, stay blessed, and I will see you in these streets. Peace.